So, by now we've talked about the three basic components of the Summit system: mentoring, projects, and self direction. And we also talked about how each of these components um, has something to do with helping students create outcomes, which include cognitive skills, mastery of content knowledge, and developing habits of success that can help them in life. Now, let's just review how this all fits together with the plan of a school so you can understand the life of a student on a typical school day. So, projects is where students will spend most of their school day. So you're going to have one core class and period per core. So that means you have a math class, a social studies class, an English class. You're going to have a science class, and in each of those classes, you're going to be engaged in a project. Now remember, though projects use the content and apply it in real life scenarios, the focus of the project time is on actually mastering and improving your cognitive skills. So the projects go really close along with cognitive skills. Now, so where do the students learn the content? During their self-directed learning time, which is another period that they have through the day, the students choose which subject to work on, pick one of the assessments that they need to work on, usually an assessment that has something to do with the project that they're working on, so that is attached to the project that they're currently working in that class. And then they will use the resources to study for it. Will take notes. They will actually work with friends, attend workshops hosted by teachers. Some teachers will also do some teaching direct instruction during class time, even though most of it is supposed to be dedicated to projects, just to help with that as well. And so throughout that, the students will have opportunities to master and study for that content. So it's during the student-directed learning time that they will really take assessments. Now, once in a blue moon, during the actual core class time, the students will give the kids opportunity to take tests also. They will review for the test also. They will do workshops in class. But most of the class time is based on the projects, which are gearing towards those cognitive skills. It's during the self-directed learning time that students are learning to pass the content assessments, right? So that kind of puts it together: projects with skills, self direction with content knowledge. Now, during self direction time, students may also work on finishing projects if they didn't get that done in class time. Now, that's not a really smart way to go about life, because the more time you take away from self directed learning to work on projects, the less time you have to master that content. So, the idea is to do really well in class so that you don't really have to waste time doing self direction learning working on project work. You really were supposed to be working on passing content assessments. Throughout the whole thing, students are developing those habits of success because that is what it takes to survive the process. And there's some intentional practice with that, especially doing mentoring class. And of course, the mentor is going to help the students navigate this whole process and guide them so that they can complete their projects on time and pass content assessments, keep up with the progress that they're supposed to be making, continue growing in those cognitive skills, and practice those habits of success. Now, how does that look like on a typical school day? Well, this is an example of the 2021 remote learning schedule. And you can see that students will have a period, and then depending on your grade level, each of these periods will be a content class where we'll be working on a project. One of these periods is an off period where you have that student-directed learning time to actually prepare and study for the assessments, work on the content. And then you also have mentoring in the afternoons, where at least once a week we'll meet with the mentor, and sometimes also have that circle time, uh, including 7 mindsets. And the rest of that time, it's additional SDL time to work on preparing for assessments or catching up with projects. There's an enrichment class in the afternoon, and then after that, more student-directed learning time, except this time, you also can attend workshops hosted by teachers or come to take content assessments. So that's the time in the afternoon that we're doing for that. So that's different from the SDL time you have in the middle of the day, because during that time you can't take tests and you can't really work with teachers. It's more independent learning time. And in the morning, you have a goal setting session before your period starts. There's that mentoring again that happens every day. So that's just as an example of how a student life would be like. Most of their time is spending core time working on projects, but you also have dedicated time for student directed learning to work on that content. And at least once a week, you're going to work with that mentor, either in a small group or one on one setting. I hope that gives you some idea. You're going to learn better when you actually start doing it. Let's keep on summoning. See you in the next video.